All right, folks. If you're hearing the sound of a voice and you left Starbase Live open, it's my fault. John Galloway for NASA Space Flight here, doing an impromptu Raptor side? More like a VAB side this evening. That camera that you see on the left-hand side is not at Starbase. That is at Cape Canaveral, but it has a very familiar structure on it. You can see right now that one of the first sections for the Orbital Launch Integration Tower for Kennedy Space Center is rolling down the road from where it was built over at Roberts Road out to 39. And we have a camera out there deployed. Figured we would pipe it in to you hardcore Starbase Live fans. And here we are. I've got some friends with me this evening. Out in the field, Mr. Chris Gebhardt is running the camera. Chris, what, you sneak into NASA or what, man?
Well, I wouldn't say sneak, but this was fun to stake this out tonight. This was really fun.
Nice. We knew that some things were going on, and so we followed the appropriate channels. We don't sneak anywhere and do anything with cameras, but we follow the appropriate channels. Chris has official access to the Cape tonight so that we could share this with you. We've got the live stream pack, and Chris has rolled out. Didn't know exactly what time it was going to be by, but figured it would be coming by. So Chris, thank you so much for rolling out with us.
Oh, my absolute pleasure, Das. Would not be anywhere else tonight.
Excellent. And Chris, feel free to break in. If there's something that you see that we don't, feel free to just jump in, oh, there's a thing.
Will do.
But I will introduce the other people with me. We have Alejandro. Alex is here as well. How you doing, Alex?
Oh man, I couldn't miss this. This is big thing. Starship Tower at Kennedy Space Center. Finally.
It is definitely a big thing. So Alex will be hanging out with us as well. We've also got Mr. Ian Atkinson. Ian, how are you doing?
Very good, very exciting. This came out of nowhere. This is awesome. But this is exciting.
Yeah, it really is. We've been waiting for this for a while. We knew that it was supposed to happen, and here it is. All right. Well, it's going to roll by. I'm pretty sure it's on SPMTs. We know how fast those go. So what do we want to talk about? I mean, this is sort of a big deal. Again, if you're wondering what's going on, don't get confused. The big main camera on Starbase Live is not Starbase Boca Chica. It's actually at Starbase Kennedy right now.
So yes.
You like how I did that?
I like how you did that.
We are showing you live views from Starbase Kennedy. We're going to have the VAB in the background in just a minute, if I'm not mistaken. And
we
wanted to share this with you live. Y'all take it away. I've talked enough.
Well, this is a bit different than the ones that we've seen stacked at Starbase. And I don't mean different necessarily, oh, they made it differently. I mean, it's different because this is kind of the bigger tower for the Artemis program. And we've always talked about the different ways that Starship will be used, and one of the major components of its use is coming up very shortly as the lunar lander vehicle, and that requires launching from different locations. There's been some talk about that one going from Kennedy. So this is one for the Artemis program. This isn't just for testing, like the tower at first will be for, and is currently for Starbase. This is meant to be operational in many respects. So that's really, really cool. And also part of the system that will stack the ship that will take people back to the surface of the moon for the first time in over 50 years. So it's different. It's a different feel, a good feel, but a different feel from what we saw at Starbase, where it's like, yeah, this is good. It's ready for testing. And this is like, yeah, here's part of the operational element of it. So yeah, lots of excitement here today. And you might be wondering, well, wait a minute, they rolled all the ones at Boca during the day. Why are they rolling at night here at the Kennedy Space Center? Couldn't they have rolled during the day? Well, they could have, and disrupted thousands upon thousands of employees' work, because you have to close the roads just like you do at Boca Chica to haul this thing down the road. You can't have cars coming the opposite direction or trying to get around it. So in order to minimize that, what the Kennedy Space Center really tries to do, with some exceptions, But what they really try to do is do these large road closure move operations like this at night so that it doesn't interfere or interrupt with the other operational elements that go on at the spaceport every single day. And heck, I think we can say it since there's literally a SpaceX tower rolling down the multi-user spaceport, right? You want to be good neighbors and you want to be cognizant of what others are trying to accomplish and do as well. So moving these large structures at night makes a lot of sense. A lot of payloads that have to take this very similar route going out to the Delta 4s and the Atlases and the SpaceX locations, especially the Atlases and the Deltas, where those payloads have to be integrated vertically and then taken out like this, follow this exact same path and go at night for the same reason. Now, they don't always go at night, but they try to go at night whenever they can. Because I know somewhere out there is going, but Starliner rolled in the middle of the day. Yes, it's true. It did. But the first time Starliner rolled was at night. So that's why I say they try to go at night. But if they need to go during the day, they will go during the day if they have to.
It rolled in the middle of the day so we could see the hatch jump off of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the remove before stacking thing that came off early. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, there's some super chats. We don't get a lot of super chats on Starbase Live, but we appreciate you when you do it. James Juries, when will we get a 24/7 Starbase Kennedy stream? That is a great question, James Juries. Thanks for asking it. We also have Andrew M., who is a member for 3 months. 39A fan club. Just keep on going. Other commentators, 39A fan club. We've got Sev Der Neergaard, member for 11 months. Win Stack. Thanks for Florida Starbase movements. We got you covered, Sev. Thank you so much for the remember, I guess, there. Here is James Juries, who asked, will there be a recorded video of this special Raptor Side chat later? Yes, I did hit record on the server so that we can upload this as a members perk. We do that a lot of the times when we do Raptor Side, so members who can't watch it live can catch up with it podcast mode or whatever. This is probably something you want to be seeing, though, since it is a segment.
Yes, and I also hit record locally on the camera too, so backups.
I appreciate that they put that lighting truck on it. Like we knew it was rolling. We knew it was rolling at night after sundown. We didn't know if it was going to be lit up. Would it just be dark, like pass by a shadow in front of the VAB, or would be able to see it? But they've got that light truck sort of lighting up the work area, which we appreciate.
And also,
yep.
If you look on the right, it's kind of dark now, but earlier it was a bit bright. It looks like a little hexagon or a little circle with a black circle in between it. It is zooming out now, but it's just to the left of that office building. That's a mock-up of the Orion launch abort system.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yes,
we are
it is.
looking at two pieces of hardware that are kind of related to the Artemis program right here. Two very, very different pieces of hardware, but you can see some connections with the Artemis program here.
Yeah. We are also seeing a very different crew arm in that photo, in that shot, than the one that will hang off of this building as well, because the old shuttle arm from 39A is here as well.
Yep, the future rolling by. And also another neat thing, if you look in the bottom right camera, that is Tower 1, and this the big camera here is Tower 2, so we're going to have two Starship launch towers. Someone should make an edit, the Lord of the Steel Rings, the two towers.
Lord of the Steel, yes.
Lord of the Ring segments.
Yes, I like it.
Nice. Hey, again, if you're just joining us and you're wondering what's going on, we have two Starbases on Starbase Live this evening. On the right-hand side, the three cameras, that is Starbase down at Boca Chica. And on the left-hand side, that is Starbase Kennedy. Starbase Canaveral? Did we come up with a name for that? I think we can either one.
Starbase Kennedy on the
Starbase Kennedy, there you go. Yeah, Starbase Kennedy.
Likes that.
So they are rolling the first tower segment from where they built it. Again, if you've seen our flyover videos over on Roberts Road, they've been building these things over there, and they're now SPMTing it over to where it will actually be stacked. In other news, we saw crane segments as well in the area. So there are all sorts of interesting things happening over at Starbase. Hey, Clever Girl, thank you for the membership as well. Big thumbs up for the impromptu coverage. Took a little bit of planning, right, Chris? We planned it a little bit.
We planned it. I had to sleep shift slightly. Yeah.
And Patrick here, remember for 20 months, it's still Starbase Live, just a different Starbase. You got it, Patrick. You
exactly.
got it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I that I wanted to point out there, you can see the rails for the chopsticks. You can see the stop at the bottom of the segment. So this is basically the first level of the tower. This is gonna be right on top of the concrete base. And I was actually trying to fiddle with the cams at the starbase, but I'm not sure what view we could choose. Daz, you have any idea, for example?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I think maybe what we can do is focus on this new one as it rolls by.
yeah,
Do the
because we are
SPMGs
about to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
about
There
to
we
go
go.
by the. It's about to go by the big building.
You can even see the elevator shaft on the middle. Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible how
Yeah, it's
advanced
cool.
it is compared to the previous ones that we saw when
I
they
was
were
about to
lot
rolling
say.
of.
out.
Hey, Chris, get
Yeah.
us some like detailed zoom shots before
That's what I
we
was
get
gonna
in front of
ask.
the fab.
Yeah.
How do you want it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start at the top and we'll work our way down.
Yeah, let's have a close in look at it here, and we will. Let's see here. Let's just do SC. There we go. We'll go full screen on that. There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
There's
while we're
the
looking at-
elevator shafts and some of the decks and everything.
Yep. You can
Yeah.
see some conduit. Go ahead, Ian.
I was gonna say, while we're looking at the details, let's talk about the details. So, with Boca Chica, what they seem to have done with their tower was they built the segments just structurally. So basically, get a truss done, move it, and stack it, and then they would add on all the pipes, all the electrical lines, the elevator shaft, and all of that. But for this, it seems that they've put everything onto the segment they possibly could before transporting it. Now that makes a lot more sense for 39A because you're also working around launches. So you're not just dealing with just cars going by. You have to work around a very active launch site.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, plus they've learned a lot. Like putting
Yeah.
the segments together at Boca, they learned a lot about building these things, and they.
Oh, look at
I
that.
would imagine. Yeah, right. It says Artemis in the background.
Oh, I chose the spot on purpose. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's. I'm positive that they took a bunch of lessons learned from Starbase, the first tower they built, and they applied it here. So I imagine this is almost like a
course.
polished tower or something. Like, look at the stops for the. Are those chopstick stops I'm seeing?
I believe they are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a stop at the bottom for the chopsticks. It's the same at a starbase in that case. But we can see like cryo pipes, again the elevator shaft, even the first level of the tower. You can see the handrails. Yeah.
Yep.
Super good close up, Chris.
Very cool. Do you think they're
Yep.
going to pour concrete in this one?
Sorry. Man,
I'm sorry.
that was the favorite question last time, wasn't it?
Oh, I remember that way too well.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit because I think the size comparison here is worth it.
Oh.
Just remember that that's one segment of many that will eventually be about as tall as this building, if not a bit taller. So
Nice.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
NASA, come on, turn the lights on. Turn the meatball
Yeah.
spotlight on. Really?
Wait, how tall it is the VAV? You surely know that off the top of your head.
It's 525 feet tall. Yes, I do know it off the top of my head.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Yeah, come on,
that's
NASA. They should know we're gonna be
160
live
meters.
streaming.
To be
Like
fair,
this-
to be fair, they do not normally have the spotlights on the vehicle assembly building unless there's an event going on. So this is
isn't an
usually
event.
how. Oh, I know, a NASA event though. This is sort of normally how the VAB looks like in its natural nighttime habitat. That's the word. That's the joke I was going for there. Yes.
So back when they had to do the environmental assessment for the Cape, they had to limit the light pollution and turn off unnecessary lights at night, and that's why the meatball and the flag aren't lit. I made that up. I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It was a PEA joke.
But
I
yeah.
could see it because I mean we're on the Merritt Island Wildlife Refuge here.
Yep.
But people often forget
Yep.
this is a wildlife refuge, same as Boca Chica, if not even more stringent. It's built
Yeah.
around a wildlife refuge, so nothing at the Cape is taken lightly either.
No, absolutely nothing here is taken lightly when we talk about environmental protection and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I mean,
In
if you wanna
fact,
talk about-
Ooh, and we stopped, so I'm going to pan while it stopped. Hang on, I'm going
Do
to
they,
zoom
do they
and pan
pause
while-
for us? Like,
They paused right in front of the camera, so here we go.
all right.
So there's some of the piping you were talking about. That's actually the upper level of this first segment
Yeah.
right here, right where it starts. And there's the piping that comes down the various levels. You can see some of the elevator cage that's in there, where the elevator actually begins, it looks like.
Yep.
And then over here on the front section is where we see one of those, that's the chopstick stop that you were talking about, right, Alex?
Yeah.
Let me
Could you
zoom
call
out
it
just a
a
little
stick?
bit.
It's a
There we
stop
go.
stick.
A
Stop
stop
stick.
stick. Yes, I love it. A stop stick. Let's do that.
Upstick.
Ugh.
And then I also want to shout out to our SBMTs doing their job tonight too.
I like the little undercarriage lighting. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a fancy sports car.
Yeah.
Is that new?
This is new. I've not
don't-
seen the SBMTs at Boca look like this.
I almost got run over by an SPMT one night at Boca, and I do not believe it had those lights. Actually, it didn't have any lights on it. I was
there you
like,
go.
what is
Come-
that?
Can we
It's
ask
like
them
they're
if they
rolling
could change?
again?
Can we ask them if they could do a rainbow effect with the lights, like a gaming computer?
LED.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like running lights back and forth on the bottom of the SPMT. Hey,
It
if
just
you're-
it plays the theme song, right, as it goes out.
I don't. That's cool. It almost looks like it's being carried by tiny UFOs.
It
So-
does, doesn't it? Well, and NASA's going to be a part of that UFO investigation thing, so it makes sense.
Oh, jeez,
Oh,
really?
wow. Did they loan
Oh,
SpaceX some
come
UFOs?
Yeah. But yeah, so the SPMTs, everything has just stopped here. The workers are sort of in front of it and behind it, but they're not like going to a specific SPMT right now. So not entirely sure why it stopped, but I'm not gonna bat an eye at it. Thank you for
Yeah.
stopping directly in front of our camera.
I'm fine with it. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are just joining us, this is Starbase 2.
Starbase 2.
I guess you could call it. This is Kennedy's Starbase, and this is the first tower segment for the Starship launch and catch tower for 39A, rolling out from the production site at Roberts Road. It is currently right in front of the iconic vehicle assembly building, and then we'll shortly continue its trek out to 39A,
Yep.
where eventually it will be put in place as segment 1 of this tower.
Yeah.
Yep. Real quick, there's a question here real quick, and Kyle asked, why is it rolling past the VAB? Isn't the SpaceX facility closer to 39A? The Roberts Road facility is not. The Roberts
No.
Road facility is on the far side of the VAB from 39A, and so they're rolling it from the Roberts Road facility where they're building new high bays, a new star factory, like all the equipment that you see on our flyover videos. Certainly you've seen the flyover videos, right? That is sort of on the far side of the VAB, I guess the near side if you're coming in the front gate, and then you have to go past the VAB and you go all the way out to 39 where this will end up. So
Yeah, and for a little bit more of that like situational awareness of where it is the Roberts Road facility is toward the southern end of the Space Center. It's just a little bit north of where State Road 3 and State Road 405 meet. So pull up Google Maps, everyone. And basically you can see it. It's called the SpaceX Operations Center. If you pull up Google Maps, it's actually labeled that, and you can see exactly where it is. So the only way to get it to 39A is to haul it up the Saturn Causeway, which is State Road 3, and then make the turn out toward 39A coming right by the VAB. So basically, this tower, if you have watched Inspiration 4 and the Axiom 1 mission, where the crews walked out of like the SpaceX Hangar X, that's where this was built. So this literally, for all intents and purposes, it technically took a slightly different road to begin with, follows the exact same path that private astronaut missions from SpaceX follow when they are taken from their Hangar X crew quarters out to 39A for launch and suit up. So that is basically the road that it's traveling down. Same road when the payloads for the Atlases and the Deltas come in from the off-site encapsulation area at Astrotech in Titusville. Those payloads follow the exact same road that goes out the VAB, out past the VAB, and then makes the turn down toward the Cape.
Yeah, I'm working on a map. If y'all keep talking, I am working on a map so we can
Oh, I
illustrate this.
Oh, I can keep talking. What do we want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about? My
Y'all keep
God, I'm at
talking.
my happiest place on earth. Well, let's answer the obvious question that I think is going to come up. Why is this the road they have to take? The answer are evil, evil bridges that cannot withstand the weight and the mass of some of these things as they go across. There are 2 drawbridges that go across the lagoon here from the NASA side where 405 dumps into the Space Center. And the road, State Road 405 is the road you would take to go to the Visitor Center if you have ever been here. But there are bridges, and they can't take the big, heavy, massive payloads across bridges. And this is the farthest south road where you can get all the way to the ocean and then down to the launch pads on the Cape side without going across the bridge. So that's why it's this road.
I am going to see if I can fit this in. I don't know if I can, but if this doesn't show up correctly, blame DOS. Just 1 second.
I'm just imagining the workers looking at the base of the SPMT. I'm just imagining one of them's like, "Oh, we forgot a bolt. We have to turn back."
Wait,
And they just do a
NSF
big
said that they've never looked like this before. Let's stop. No.
Nice.
Wait, were we supposed to install the pipes at the pad? They just do like a 500-point K turn.
A 500-point turn.
A turd, nice.
Well, aren't the SPMTs like the crawler? They just drive them the opposite direction.
I guess so.
I don't
Yeah.
know if this is gonna fit, y'all. Let's see if it fits in the way that I'm thinking it. Oh, bam, perfect. So we should have.
Oh yeah, perfect,
shortly-
perfect.
That fit exactly how I was talking.
Yeah, and
nice.
that's
Let me
it
Draw
exactly.
the route here, and I'll show you where it sort of was built, and then where it's going, and where it's eventually going to end up.
And after you show
and-
the where it was, it's the road that goes straight up from that, not the main State Road 3. That's
Yeah,
the first
the
one. it takes.
backside
Yeah.
road, right?
Yeah, the backside road, exactly.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the SpaceX operations area down here on Roberts Road, right?
Indeed.
I hope I got that correct. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
It's the right side of that circle, but you got it all in the circle though.
Okay, good. It's the right side of that circle. And they didn't go up the main road here. They actually went up this back road, right? I know it takes a second for y'all to for it
Yes,
to appear
exactly.
there.
They went up that back road. Yep, right there.
Yep. Does that road pass like even further than I have it drawn right now, or did they have
Nope.
to get on the main road?
Nope,
Nope.
it dead ends right there. Right
Okay.
turn over to the main road, then left up toward the VAB.
Yep. And so they had to go over there. Then they went up the main road, like the one that like frames the VAB as you're driving in, right?
Yep, indeed.
Okay. And I'm just going to sort of, it's a big line and I don't have it zoomed in very far, but they went up like this, and then the VAB is like here, right? And
Yep.
so they're going this way. And it's sort of, their road curves a little bit there, but then they're going to,
Yep.
Chris is right in this area, like this is the press center and the turning basin, and Chris is watching from right around there somewhere. I might not have
Correct.
gotten it exactly right, but that's where Chris is watching from, and I'll zoom in and show you. That's why we get the VAB in the background of the shot. I've probably drawn the red line a little bit too far right now, but as it continues on, it's going to continue on the road all the way out here along the crawlerway, and it is eventually going to end up at 39A, actually somewhere over in this area of 39A. And I'm pretty sure I drew that correctly, didn't I, y'all?
You did indeed.
Looks about right, probably.
Yep.
You know how I knew? I watched the NASA Spaceflight Cape Flyover videos that come out about every 2 weeks.
NASA Spaceflight Cape Flyovers. Gosh, where can we find those at?
If you go to YouTube and you search for NASA Spaceflight Cape Flyover, or just click the link in chat that the moderators are going to put in as soon as they Google it really quickly and put it in, you can see our aerial photography. Like every couple weeks, we literally rent a helicopter with y'all's support, like super chats and stuff like that. We get a helicopter flight and we fly over the area and show you what's changed. So those videos have been showing these tower segments being built, and we knew they were being completed. We could even see how some changes were being made, or as like the incremental pieces got added. We're like, oh, they added this, they added that. And here this evening, they are rolling out that first tower segment past the VAB in the background. Let me see if I can't do this and zoom in real quick, just a little bit more context on where Chris is. So, Chris, are you on the mound there, or where are you at?
I am actually in the press site parking lot on the concrete.
Okay, on the concrete of the press site parking lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this shot, we can see sort of the low bay and then the VAB in the background. Hopefully I don't... I'm just making sure I can fit it all in there. I'm having to work a little bit, but I think we've got that there. And so, oh no, I went too far to one side. Go back this way. All right, so Chris is somewhere over here in the parking lot, right? And then here's the VAB up this way, right? And the sort of low bay comes off the back of the VAB like this. That's what has the Artemis logo on it. It's actually being blocked by the segment right now. And so, Chris, are you sort of where I've got the red dot there, right on the edge? Roughly.
More or less. I'm a little bit further north than that, but more or less, yes.
I guess I could ping your broadcast pack and I could get an exact GPS fix on you, but whatever. I'm busy.
I mean, you could cheat like that, yeah. Like
We'll just dox Chris on stream.
Yeah, and so Chris is sort of looking in this direction at the VAB, and the tower segment is like right around here right now, if I've got it drawn correctly. Yeah, roughly.
You do. That's it.
All right. Cool. And it's come in this way. So it's come in on this sort of road here on Saturn Causeway, and then it's going to continue going this way, which goes along the crawlerway. You can see this is all the crawlerway up here. But that's where it is going to head. And, yep, there's where it came from, and there's where it's heading, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I'm done drawing. Y'all can talk again. Sorry.
That is good. I'm actually going to try and take some still photography here of it. So what are some questions that we've got while I can get that set up and do that as well?
That is a good question.
A common question going around while we're looking for questions is, why are they building another pad at 39A in general? What's the need for that? And I think SpaceX themselves have even said it. 39A will be their sort of operational pad. That's where they're going to launch all the big Starship missions from. They're going to do the quick missions from there. Boca Chica is going to stay as sort of their R&D site, where they're going to trial new designs on Starship, new types of engines, things along those lines. But 39A is expected to be their big commercial pad, not even just for commercial partners, but also for NASA. We've seen documentation saying that HLS launches will take place from 39A. So it seems like 39A is going to be their more operational, their commercial and governmental missions pad.
Nice.
But beautiful shots there. And I'm interested. I'm wondering why they've actually stopped now. Maybe they're just doing some quick checks, making sure everything's okay, because this is the first time they've rolled something like this to the pad at 39A.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Yeah, I don't know if this is like a standard, like they planned to do this, or because I know some of the road closures that were issued for it were a bit were mainly concentrated on how long State Road 3 itself, the Saturn Causeway, was closed.
Right.
There was like, I know I definitely saw it didn't appear like you could go past a certain time on that road. So it may have just been, hey, get it down that road and get it to a place where we can stop, and maybe like assess a little bit more and then continue on.
Yep. And it actually looks like the ground crews are starting to walk ahead. Maybe that's a sign they're going to move again.
It very well could be.
I mean, we've seen this sort of thing. We've seen this sort of thing at Boca all the time, where they go and then they find a little thing in the road and they need to re-level it or whatever. And I don't know, but this is the first tower segment they've rolled this way, and there's always like a learning curve as you figure out exactly how the pavement is.
Exactly.
Fast. Like we saw it coming to this place, and it was already going fast. So they obviously have experience from Boca Chica, but obviously, this is a new place, right? So they gotta take their time and just stops here and there. Not a real big deal.
A little theme in the road or something like that, where they have to level something out, or they're just looking for something.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they took photos too, with the VAB behind it. That's a good shot.
Okay, well, don't give away what I'm doing right now. Jeez. I mean, I literally just had to switch lenses to a fisheye lens to get the VAB in the shot. So that's how close we are.
Nice.
Yeah, Chris, see if you could find a light switch. Turn the lights on the VAB.
Yeah. I'll just
maybe shout over to the crews.
Yeah, I'll just walk over to this big power box and just flick a random switch and see what happens. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it should be a big sign saying light switch.
Light switch, meatball lighting, it says on it.
Indeed, meatball lighting. Sorry, see, I can't flick that switch because I'm Team Worm. So.
Oh, geez. Well, there's
Same
no
here,
worm
same
lighting.
here.
There's no worm on the web. It's not even a thing.
Chris, climb up there and spray paint a worm.
Oh, geez.
My last act as a reporter.
Yeah, right.
And Chris was banned from the press site.
Oh, that would be a hell of a lot more than a ban. Yeah.
Let's not do any of these things, please.
Absolutely. We do not condone
exactly.
any of this.
Again, folks, if you're wondering what's going on, that is the first segment of the Orbital Launch Integration Tower out at Starbase Kennedy. Not Starbase Boca Chica, but Starbase Kennedy. And it is rolling out from where it was constructed, assembled, built, whatever you want to call it, over at SpaceX Operations at Roberts Road. And it is on its way to 39A. Hey, that rhymes. Nice.
Indeed, it does.
And it's neat, at least to me, to see how this is pretty much identical to the tower segments at Boca Chica. I mean, when you think about it, it's not really too shocking, but we did see that Elon talked about they're making sort of improvements here, improvements there on the overall pad infrastructure. But it seems like they're going with overall the same design here for the tower.
Which kind of tells you, right, as the system continues to evolve, as the overall Starship system does go through some evolutions, right? About like, oh, where might this particularly be on the ship? What might it look like in here, right? They're far enough sort of along in this process that the tower is just kind of going to be the tower. And yeah, maybe it gets modified here and there for efficiency sake. But yeah, this is sort of one part of the design that at this point, you really wouldn't expect this part of it to change all that much based on where the system is overall in its what do you call it? The outer mold line of the vehicle, right? Basically, just don't change the shape of it anymore, you know, and it'll be fine. And so seeing that sort of similarity, good indication of how far along in the design process this thing really is. This entire system really is, which makes sense because of what it's going to be used for very early on in its tenure, right? Of returning humans to the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, yeah, like you said, this tower is very likely to be used in integrating and working with the next human lunar lander, which is crazy to think about. That we're this close. We're also pretty far, but we're still this close to getting that again. That's just remarkable to think about.
Yep, it really is.
And
you know, I saw an image the other day that just kind of made me. There are certain things in this line of work, right? That historically you look at a photograph, a current photograph, and you just stop for a moment and go, what would they have? What would like rocket engineers who were designing the original, you know, Apollo program think looking at Starship and Orion, right? As the two vehicles. And basically, what I wound to was it was this image. I think it was one created by Mac Crawford for us for NSF, and it is Orion docked to the top of Starship. And the only thing I could think of in that moment is not that von Braun would have been shocked at the size of Starship. I mean, he wanted large rockets. There's a reason 39A and 39B are overbuilt for the Saturn rocket. He thought ahead. But like, if you told him it's the big one that goes down to the lunar surface and brings the crew back, like, I think that's what would blow his mind. You know,
it's the big one.
Yeah, whereas in Apollo, the lunar module was kind of, or actually, no, they're about the same size, but yeah.
Yeah, they were both small, right? Like one going down, you could kind of see that, and just like going, like, it's the one without legs. That's the one that goes down. Like, you know?
Or you could even say the sleek, shiny one is the one that goes down because the lunar module was like the crumbly one.
Yeah, that didn't need to be aerodynamic. It was like just foil and poke your arm through the edge of the lunar lander, right?
But Starship looks like a sniper bullet. That thing is, there's nothing sticking off the side.
Yep. Hey, I've got another treat for us here real quick. I know we keep talking about the flyover videos in Roberts Road, and we know that they've been constructed over here. So I actually grabbed this fantastic tweet from Julia Bergeron. She is one of the folks that does the flyovers. Her and Space Ghost Steve out there, and that is one of her shots of the tower segments being constructed. So you see the one tower segment there in front of the VAB. Well, there's more that are going to be coming by. Now, hey, Ian, Alex, do we know which one of these segments it is?
Top
It's-
left, right?
Yeah, the one top left on that picture.
'Cause that was the one that started construction first.
Yep, it was the first one to be constructed.
Okay,
It's-
correct me if I'm wrong, but it's
Yeah.
the top left. That's
Yep, that one.
That one.
That makes it okay. If I hold my hand like this,
I
it
think
makes an L.
if you open the picture, you could probably see even the stop for the chopsticks on it, because it's in that direction.
Oh. Let's see if we can pull that off here, doing it live.
So in our
Okay.
next flyover, we're gonna see an empty slot there, which will be cool.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
after tower segments grow their wings and fly away like
there you go.
Bluebird stream. Oh,
What? Wait, what?
yeah.
People who missed this stream are gonna see the next video and be like, "Where did it go? Where did it go? It disappeared."
Pardon? No, I guess we got it fine. There, I'm zooming in a little bit more, and here is the chop stop. The chopstick stop. The
Chop stop.
stop
stick.
stick.
Yes.
What were we going to call it? It's right here.
Stop
Chopstick.
The stop stick. Whatever it's supposed to be called. If I've got it correct there, that should
There
be what
you
we
go.
were looking at when we zoomed in. Excellent. Anything else I should show on these images, y'all, while I got it up?
Well, I don't see anything else that is remarkable. I mean, apart from the fact that they constructed them in in weird order, in terms of how tall, like the height of the tower and things like that. We know. I think we saw earlier in one of the close-ups by Chris, the feed of the stand where the tower is standing right now has
Oh.
the number of the level of the tower. So you can see something like A1 on
Yep,
that
hang on.
corner.
Yeah.
We can show this.
Okay.
We have the power.
I didn't want to ask you literally to zoom in, but there you go. Oh, it's AO2. Okay, it's the one on top. It's not the A. Forget about the first
it's
thing.
the
that I
one,
said.
it's not the
It's
A.
the one there. Yeah, the one indicates the level of the tower. So this is the first one, which will go right on top of the concrete base, and then on that picture by Julia, you will say, okay, so yeah, all of them that are to the right of that one, we already identify that one to be the top left one. So you could say, okay, so then the other four are going to be the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. Well, no, it's the 2, the 5, the 3, and the 4. So it's like
Do we have that numbered in a video or
SpaceX and
something?
counting. Yep, we have it on our latest. Actually, I think on the previous two, we had to explain it because every time we explain it, we put out one of these flyovers. People are like, "But what do you mean?" You know, and so we usually put a little explainer there so people don't get confused and don't get lost in what are we referring to, because that's usually the kind of thing.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. I've just.
It is indeed.
Tell
And
us-
I think the A02 one right below the 1 is delineating the column. Because if
Yep.
when I panned to the other one says D. So if
D.
one says A and one says D, I'd imagine the other two on the other side say B and C.
B and C.
Probably just for their alignment purposes, right? Like when they're taking it out
Yep.
and they park it so the crane can
Ah.
pick it up, they know it's oriented correctly when they go to stick
You're
it
right
the
on.
tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's totally the case. The other tower segments also see, like, if you zoom in on the pictures, you know, if you want to see zoom ins of those pictures, you can subscribe to L2. A little bit of a plug in there, right? We have those pictures on L2, and you can see them when you zoom in on the feet of the stand. You can see the different A, B, and C, and D, and all of that. So that's
And actually, I'm going to
That's
take a
right
moment
on.
to plug. I'm going to take a moment to plug L2 for something else, because there's a treasure trove of historical archive data and documentation in L2, to the point where somebody on Discord asked me if I could get a document from NASA that we ourselves already had. in our historical archive. So yeah, if you're interested in L2, there is a lot in there if you want to delve into past history. Yeah.
I was just reminded that these are actually uploaded to the YouTube members too. I just
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah. So if you're a YouTube member, you both pictures.
Yes. Yeah, we don't bait and switch you. Like
Yeah. Let that be clear.
I'll do that real quick. We've got the camera down south of the pad, and you can see the completed tower in the lower right-hand corner. Of course, the two on the right-hand side are at Starbase Boca Chica, and the one on the left, the camera on the left, is Starbase Kennedy. Look, all right, we're just going to keep calling it that and try to, like, make that a thing until somebody calls it something different.
Please
I
no.
think it's a cool way. What?
Goss,
I think it's a
called
cool way to
the
say it.
multi-user spaceport.
Oh, give me a break.
Well, it is.
Right.
We've got a SpaceX Tower segment in front of the VAB. But
Oh,
Multi-user, one-user spaceport.
that's great.
Oh.
hey,
night.
SLS is on the pad. Don't disparage it. But
Okay.
the Starliner's back there. The X-37Bs are in frame technically. It's a multi-user spaceport.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
with the construction at the launch and landing facility, that's gonna be exciting. But
It is. But that's not why we're here.
Yep.
Nope.
Right, right.
And to be fair, you should not. Our jokiness about that is from a PR standpoint, not from a reality standpoint. So yes.
All right.
But here we go.
Is it moving again?
It is not. No.
I wonder. I wish
can
we
even
had a
see-
radio. We could see what happened.
All of the workers have stepped back from the SPMTs. So I don't know if that means we're close or whatnot, but a meeting just broke up near a golf cart. That's what I got.
Ah,
Okay.
always
Maybe
a
a
good sign.
refresher.
Maybe it's like at the halfway point. Like, is everything all right? Everything look good?
Yeah, it's tea time. Yeah.
I mean, they're
They're
sort
doing a
of
quick
walking.
motivational speech.
Yeah.
Guy walking in the grass.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably just tired. I keep thinking that I see it tilt in one direction or the other, but I think that I'm just like squinting at it too hard. I want it to move. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I've got like the big X on the camera centered over something so that it'll be really obvious when it starts to
Uh-huh.
move.
Huh. And again, I mean, we didn't know how long we would actually be able
Oh.
to see this. We thought it was going to be dark. We knew it was coming by. We had cameras, live stream stuff all ready to go. Look, it's not our first rodeo. But we thought it was going to like go by in like 15 minutes, and it's like, should we do a stream? Should we do should we do it on Starbase Live? Should we just record it? Like, should we show it? And then of course it stops like right here in front of the camera.
Yes, indeed. For all intents and purposes,
Yep.
like we're gonna see it for 5 minutes because it's SPMTs. They go faster than the crawler. And it stopped in front of us. I love it.
Stopped right. We literally thought like, oh geez, by the time we send the notification and start the stream, it's already going to be halfway past us, and we almost didn't stream it. I don't think that would have been a thing. Once we saw that we had light and we could actually see it, and it wasn't just like a mysterious ship passing in the night, we decided we would at least show it on Starbase Live. But we thought we were going to see it for like 15 minutes, and I think we forgot our SPMT 101.
we did, and I just gotta point something out here. Thomas Zurbuchen, the head of science at NASA, tweeting just a few minutes ago that he gave a talk this week at AAS 204, in part about the transformative impact of big launch for the future of astrophysics. Having both NASA SLS and SpaceX Starship getting closer to launch at NASA Kennedy opens a new era. Super excited. That also happens to be about the tower segment going out right now, is what he's referencing. But yeah, I mean, we were just talking about, like what Starship launching from here means. We talked about NASA missions. We talked about commercial missions. Well, what this thing can be capable of lofting into orbit from a science perspective, how much it could, and this is part of what Dr. Z was talking about, how much it could
Getting
greatly
shivers.
simplify telescopes like James Webb that was just launched, right, could be immensely simplified with a vehicle with the size of the payload volume that we're talking about here with Starship, and then what it enables working with SLS. I mean, it's all right here. And eventually, when this thing keeps moving, SLS will be in the background when it goes by, which is even better. Because remember,
cool.
these vehicles are inextricably linked to one another, right? Without one, the other can't do what it needs to do for the Artemis program. So, this is exciting. And yes, just what this thing can do for science is, and SLS as well, is just going to be amazing. Amazing. Even though SLS isn't going to launch science payloads, right? It's going to be transporting astronauts through the gateway to the lunar surface to enable that type of scientific exploration and endeavor. So just incredible all around.
And also, too, when you're mentioning immense payload mass and immense volume, for a lunar lander, being able to have that much space on board, they can do so much with that. You could have a lot of storage, to say a lot of food for long duration stays on the surface. You could have laboratories. You could have a ton of extra cargo. You bring down extra instruments. There's so much that you can do with a vehicle of that size that the scientific return from the Artemis missions should be immense in theory.
Yeah.
Based on just that alone, because the lunar module, if anyone remembers from the Apollo, the lunar module was severely limited in terms of payload mass that it could bring back and that it could bring to the surface. The Saturn V was stretched to its absolute limits. The Saturn V, the largest rocket ever flown, was stretched to its limits. So having such a large volume available compared to the lunar module, we should get a lot of great data back from the Artemis missions. I'm so excited to see what we can do with this.
We really should. I mean, and the sheer amount of stuff that we, if this becomes part of the plan, that we would be able to bring back from the lunar surface with Starship. What you were sort of talking about there about how small the lunar lander was, right? All of the samples that they collected on the lunar surface weren't just constrained to could they fit it back into the lunar module. It was constrained by, okay, now you have to bring it into the Apollo command capsule to get it home through atmospheric reentry. So, I mean, the amount of stuff we're going to be able to bring back, not just from the knowledge perspective, but the physical stuff we're going to be able to bring back with these systems is incredible.
Yeah. And of course, then again, like you're saying, the command module, Orion will then be the bottleneck in that case. But Orion is much larger than the Apollo command module, so there should be, in theory, be extra space you can bring back. But I mean,
there is.
At the very least, I was going to say at the very least, putting like extra instrumentation and extra, even laboratory equipment, extra crew space inside there, it'll just be a tremendous asset.
Yeah. And where my mind was actually going with that was slightly different, right? Like, was, being able to put that stuff on a Starship and bring it back, transfer it from, if the lunar ships, when their final design is done, still don't have a heat shield to allow for atmospheric reentry on Earth, which if it's a lunar ship and it's just staying in cislunar space, it doesn't need, arguably. But, if the Starship system works the way they're saying it will as well, I mean, heck, it's a drop in the bucket to send one to go get the supplies and bring them back to Earth, right? I mean, there are a lot of neat options that we just haven't been able to exercise yet because of the size of the systems we had previously versus what we're about to have, which is really exciting.
Definitely. And also, too, with the lunar module, they brought along a lot of instruments they left on the surface. So imagine you could bring, say, several large experiments. You could bring, say, university-led experiments. You could bring so much inside of there that you can leave on the surface. It makes me so excited to think about, but we should probably move on. But
I know we could just geek out over the science.
I was about to say, imagine the potential of a cargo Starship landing first, and then you can bring up whatever the heck you want. Like, I don't know, it's like the potentials of Starship for the lunar program is like, it's incredible.
Don't get me started. I mean, I wonder if they could even bring a telescope, but that's going. Ugh. There's a laundry list of stuff, but yeah, it looks like we're still paused in terms of movement. I'm wondering what they're doing here. Maybe they're just checking things out.
Yeah.
Maybe I was wondering a shift change, but that would be a bad time for a shift change.
A lot of people would be blocked if this was a shift change.
Yeah.
From leaving. Another reason we do this at night. Yes. because yes, anyone who has ever, if you work on or work frequently on a space center, you definitely have stories about having to call your significant other and go, nope, I'm stuck behind this rocket, or I'm stuck behind this stage, or I'm stuck behind something that's encapsulated and I can't see what it is. So one of the vehicles two of the vehicles that were with them and turned around to face the SPMTs have now turned back around to face the correct driving direction. So maybe we are getting close to moving again here. The vehicles definitely seem to be orienting themselves that way. But again, we're just going by visual here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Chris, don't jinx it. They can hear you.
True.
Right, Chris say that they stopped for the night, and then they'll start moving.
Yeah, then
Just
they'll
gonna
go, yeah.
leave it there.
Yeah.
Like workers coming to work in the morning, and they're like, "What the heck? What is this?" It's just in the middle of Saturn Parkway. Like, what?
They just unhook the SPMT, roll it away. It's in the middle of the road.
Well, this is a good place to launch starships from. It's actually, this is the new site for the Starship launch because it's less dangerous for 39A, where we launch humans to space from. And this is a mitigation for that danger to the 39A pad to make sure that we don't lose our capability to launch humans.
This is where they'll do the
Watch them-
booster static fires.
I'm not the reporter, y'all. I just made that up, okay? That's a joke. This is not going to just stay here. They're not going to launch starships like, I don't know, cut a hole in the roof of the VAB and just send it. Like,
No, the VAB just would move back. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, sort of what you said is the other sort of fascinating part about this, right? We're building this at 39A. It kind of has a very important job it does right now.
Yeah.
And it's the only pad that does that job right now in the United States. Although hopefully later this year we'll have another one. We'll have two, actually. Hopefully later this year we'll have two with 39B and 41 that can also launch humans. But yeah, like that is a question, right? Of the maturity of this system, the size of it. If there were to be an issue with a fully fueled Starship on 39A, that could significantly impact Falcon and Dragon flight operations for the ISS. So where do you get a backup from them? It's all very fascinating about what they're looking at doing now that they have really, I mean, of course they're doing it. We've seen them building it for most of the year. Now that they are really committed to 39A hosting two completely different rocket families, which is kind of unheard of on launch pads. Normally launch pads are optimized for one rocket or one family of rockets like Falcon and Falcon Heavy, or SLS or Atlas, and now all of a sudden at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, we've got two launch pads that are going to be able to handle two completely different rockets with two completely different propellant needs. That's really interesting. But it does open up other questions after that about how to protect your flight rate, how to protect your assets for what you need both systems to be doing.
Hey, it looks like crews are still walking around. I don't know if that's a good sign, a bad sign, a neutral sign.
Let's go with let's go with the Futurama joke of the neutral. It's neutral. We'll just go with neutral. Yeah.
nice.
And somewhere, if Jack is awake, he just did his Jack laugh at that. So yeah.
His Jack laugh?
Yeah, his like high pitched his Jack laugh, yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, the
I
Jack.
didn't know it had a name. All right. I see a couple people asking, is it moving? And yes, it's on an SPMT right now. That is the first segment of the Orbital Launch Integration Tower for Starship at Starbase down at Cape Canaveral. We've been calling it Starbase Kennedy, but I haven't seen that on a document yet. I'm just going to keep saying it, hoping that it becomes true. It was rolling out, and then it came to a halt here just between us and the VAB. That's actually the VAB. You can see the flag in the background up at the top of the screen. And is it broken down? Do they need to fill it back up? Do they need to move it? Like, we're not exactly sure. There we go. There's the whole VAB. We don't know exactly why it stopped. We thought it was going to be like, shoop, and just zoom by us, and we'd see it for like 10 minutes. And we've been live for 55 minutes here, doing commentary.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. I was wondering, like, are we gonna get like 15 minutes of coverage here? Then be like, all right, we lost it. Good night, everyone.
Well,
But
and what was great is like when we first saw the roadblock vehicles appear in visual range, I went, oh well, if they started on time, it's probably still about 30 minutes. No, there it is, there it
30
is, there it
minutes.
is.
Oh.
Like it just instantly started yelling, no, there it is.
What did Michael tweet? Didn't Michael tweet like, join us for a special surprise sometime this evening? Don't know exactly when. Oh wait, now.
No,
Hold on,
that's basically what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
basically
to
that.
be fair, we were all behind that tweet of we don't know when because we really didn't because the road closures went for like 2.5, 3 hours. So,
Yep.
you know, and sometimes I have seen them close the roads here well in advance of something going by. So just because we saw the roadblock vehicles wasn't to like, oh, it'll be close. And to be fair, if we were like at a slightly different angle, the roadblock vehicles have been at sort of the where this road intersects another that goes around the other side of the vehicle assembly building. They've been there since the whole time this has been stopped. So like that could have been us. But thankfully they stopped right in front of us, which is very nice of them to do.
Here's Michael's tweet. He said there may be a special surprise on Starbase Live tonight. Exact time is TBD, but likely fairly soon. That was 59 minutes ago, and then 57 minutes ago he said by soon, apparently now. Apparently
Yes.
right now. Yes. Good times. Good times.
Jeez, that's an hour ago.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
already been talking for an hour.
time flies.
Yeah,
Hey, real
it flies.
quick, Harry Young gifted 5 memberships. That's a new thing that they've got going here on YouTube, where you can actually gift memberships to the channel to others and bestow all of the, how do they say it? The rights and privileges that come with that level of membership or whatever. Like, you can actually give other people memberships. And Harry Young just did 5 memberships to the channel there. And if you get a gifted membership, if you're the recipient, it just randomly chooses people who are watching the stream, right? You actually get the option to post that in chat that you got one of the gifts. Looks like Onkla and Jan and Maxwell and Timothy and Ryan 9000. It looks like all 5 of them decided to share that they got that gift from Harry Young. So Harry, thank you so
Nice.
much for
Thank you,
sharing
Harry.
5 memberships. Yeah. And we got a new member as well. Where did it go? Loopy! There we go. How you doing, Loopy?
Yeah.
Loopy's a longtime friend over from Twitch, and good to see you hanging out here. I guess from Twitch, that's where I first knew Loopy from. Loopy lives down there on the Space Coast, but good to see you hanging out in chat. Thank you so much for joining Padrat, Loopy. Yes. We'll talk, Alex. Just say something out loud right now.
Oh. What should I talk about?
What else is 39A used for, Alex?
I was gonna say that's what we do
Wow.
on streams. You just go, you talk. Now.
Yeah. Well, 39A is being used for crew launches and Falcon Heavy, and we've seen a few comments recently about having the Starship launch pad next to crew launches and all of that, and yeah, some comments from the Aerospace Safety Advisory panel, the ASAP, at NASA, and well, you know, things flew out this week about probably putting crew access arm or something about that on Pad 40. It's still a little bit up in the air, but you know, it's also one of those things, you know, that it's badly kept. If anyone has been around at the Cape for a long time, they probably know about these hush plans, you know, that, well, maybe if 39A blows up, we obviously hope that doesn't happen, you know, in a very fast contingency plan, right? SpaceX is like, hey, you know, we can just build another tower at 40, and while just like what happened at MO6 when they had Pad 40 out, and they were like, okay, we'll complete 39A, we'll launch from 39A, and once we're launching from 39A, we can go and repair 40 to keep launching from 40. And hey, right now, Pad 40 is the one that is being launched the most. They have had, I think, 11 launches this year from Pad A, from Pad 40, and from Pad A, I think it's being 8. So yeah, a lot of launches.
But I do just have to say, never underestimate 39A's resilience, because
Oh yeah, yeah,
to
totally.
paraphrase someone, it has and always shall be our trampoline to the stars. So never
Nice.
underestimate 39A.
Our trampoline.
Oh,
Stars.
I got that one.
Love it.
Yeah. So what is very interesting, and what is, I think, on camera here, although zoomed out, they have been working on one of the lead trucks, not one of the SPMTs. They actually had the hood of like one of the trucks open, but
What?
not the SPMT. So
Huh.
Put it in neutral and push that thing off the side, man.
Chris has to go home and go to bed.
Commander.
Take your Tesla over there and see if they need a tow. Electric motors have torque.
That's true.
Just have the SPMT push it.
With the tower segment on
Yeah.
it. I'm not an OSHA expert, but I'm pretty sure that's a bad idea.
They'll be
Hey.
fine. Just have someone in the bed holding on.
If a truck can drag Endeavor across a bridge in Los Angeles, I think a tower segment can push a truck down the road at Kennedy.
Jeez. They ran out of gas.
I'm kidding. Don't try that. Yeah.
Yeah, gas was so expensive they ran out of gas. They forgot to gas up the truck. Oh no! Again, folks,
But, yeah.
that is a tower segment it's the first tower segment that's on its way out to 39A at Cape Canaveral, and we got word that it was rolling out. We asked if we could be there to share it with you. NASA's awesome and let us come do that, and so we're sharing you live views, not from Starbase Boca Chica, but from Starbase Kennedy down at Cape Canaveral, sending that tower segment out. But right now something's broken down and it doesn't seem to be moving. We're just hanging out and talking to you. So that's what's going on, if you were wondering. We've got myself, John Galloway. We've got Chris Gebhardt. Is it moving?
No, but a huge gaggle of people that I could not see just emerged from under the SPMTs. So maybe they were working on them. I mean, literally, like 5 people just emerged from the SPMTs and have now all gotten into vehicles. So maybe this is working.
So you say an SPMT can fit 5 people?
I'm saying they literally came out from crouching positions as if they were standing up, having been underneath it or working on it. But yeah, I mean, literally, like they all just appeared. Now now vehicles are moving. I don't know, but that was weird.
Yeah.
It's like a
The
clown
truck's
car.
moving. Yeah.
Oh, yep, both trucks.
I said Chris's name real quick. We've got Chris Gebhardt. He's out there operating the camera for us. We've got Ian Atkinson. You just heard Ian's voice. Ian, say hi real quick so they put a name with a voice.
Hi, everybody.
That's Ian. And we've got Alex as well. Alex, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Nice.
I said the same
Good. You
thing,
follow
right?
Instructions well, yes.
Just read the instructions.
When we say jump, you say how high.
So again, y'all, we're just
Yeah.
answering questions. We're hanging out. We're talking about what this means. This is clearly a good sign that things are progressing. I mean, a lot of good news for SpaceX lately. We've got the
My
whole
gosh, yeah.
environmental assessment coming back, and that looked good as sort of expected with the mitigated FONSI. Some things to do down at Starbase to minimize their impact on the area, and then out here at the Cape, we see a segment rolling out to 39A. So SpaceX is not sleeping. They are always getting stuff done, it looks like.
This is just one of many actions. Like, we have 3 launches this weekend. One on Friday,
That's-
one on Saturday, and one on Sunday. Like, come on, SpaceX, give us a break, you know? and they're
Well,
like,
hey, they
there's
could've-
also
it's
a
moving again.
rollout
It's
closure
moving.
tomorrow. Oh, it's moving?
It is moving, yes.
Yeah!
Hey!
Do you want me to keep wide like this as it goes by the VAB?
Yeah. Since it was still
Okay.
when it was moving,
Yeah,
yeah, this is good. And then we can follow it when it gets past the Launch Control Center.
that sounds like a plan. And then it's going to go by SLS, which is all lit up on the launch pad. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh no! Oh no! Can we frame SLS like in the middle of the tower?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. My instructions were I could not leave the press site parking lot. So that's my restriction.
So you can't follow it to 39A or anything like that, huh?
Sadly, no.
You
no.
can't hop on board?
No.
Imagine a
allowed.
live stream from the tower segment rolling out.
They wanted to slowly reveal the Artemis logo in the background. Nice. It was
Yes.
intentional.
Well, funny. I mean, this kind of is Artemis hardware, as we said before.
I'm kind of gonna let it just drift out of frame here, and then once it's past the LCC, reframe it and track it if that works.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is a good little time lapse that's happening right here.
One of those single cameras, like, do I time lapse it for the time lapse B-roll, or do I keep
Yeah.
tracking it, or whatever? Like,
Also, big shout out to SpaceX. Thanks, SpaceX, for having these light trucks coming behind us. That was so generous of them to think of us when they're moving their launch infrastructure.
yes.
And if we're going to be real, we should say thank you, OSHA,
oh, for requiring the light trucks, nice.
for requiring the
I
light
wonder.
trucks. Yeah.
That's why the trucks
I-
are there. Nice.
Pretty sure that's mandatory for worker safety at night when you're moving something
Yeah.
like this. Yeah.
I
It
mean, like,
would
if something
make
falls
sense.
off the top and, like, it's dark, yeah,
Yeah.
never see it. Very
Doo,
cool.
doo, doo,
Finally
doo,
moving.
doo. Oh, there's just one guy riding the SPMTs. That's cool. I'll try and
Aw.
zoom in on that when the
he goes
time lapse
by?
is done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That truck is literally just towing a lighting rig. I love it.
Yes.
Their
That's all
rearview
it's
mirror
doing.
must be just blinding them. Like, imagine high beams on steroids.
Oh.
It'll be cool to
It's
see
like-
it go by 39B, the mega moon rocket being eclipsed by the launch hardware for the other mega moon rocket.
Yes.
Mega moon rocket.
The mega, yeah.
The mega moon rocket and the mega moon rocket.
Yep.
Let's just don't call any of the rockets the mega moon rocket,
Yeah.
please.
Don't call any rocket the mega moon
Okay.
rocket.
The
Out
mega
of
anything.
frame.
Nice. Okay, go, Chris. I'm not
Four.
gonna
Okay, here we go. Yep.
switch to another camera or anything. We'll just leave it up to you here.
Alrighty, that sounds good. Let me re-level the camera here just a little bit.
Cool.
Alrighty, there we go. And yeah, this is the person I am talking about. He's just riding the SPMT.
Hey, he's living his best
Oh,
life.
That's
got the
the
little
driver, I
platform.
think, right? Yeah.
whatever happened to getting your steps
Yeah.
in when you were moving things with an SPMT?
Yeah.
Well, this is Florida
Oh.
and it's humid. We don't do steps here.
That's
We
look.
ride.
It's branded SpaceX.
I was
The
about to say,
SPMT.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is
They
it?
already have their own SPMTs down here now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that. The SPAC is on there. Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. Nice.
What is SpaceX? Look, I don't know how to say it. Livery? Which one is it?
Livery.
On a livery?
Livery, yeah.
I always heard livery. Oh, yeah.
I know. I don't know which one it is. I don't know which one's correct.
Well, it
Oh.
depends. If you're an 18th century English servant, it's livery.
Livery.
Yeah,
But I've
it's-
always heard the stuff that's put on planes as livery. But I could be
Chat,
wrong.
correct me there. Like whichever one is.
Oh,
is
it's stopped
correct.
again?
And we
Oh,
stopped.
it stopped.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, well,
So it's
Alright,
got
get
the SpaceX livery on it, like
Send
the
the five
SpaceX
guys
logos.
back underneath it.
Go jack it up again or whatever. There's
so
like
many
one.
A's here. One could think this is a Fonzie. Okay, I did a
Wait,
bad
what?
joke.
Oh,
Which-
You were all saying A.
that's
Yeah.
literally why I keep saying.
It was
hey.
like-
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, there we go.
it's slightly moving.
Yeah.
It's
That's-
very slightly moving. Yeah.
Alex,
We're
that's
gonna-
exactly why I was saying A, because we did that 5-hour Fonzie stream the other day. If you missed it, the other day we did a live stream. We went live right as the FAA environmental assessment for Starbase down in Boca came out, and for over 5 hours, we just read through the document and talked about
Yep.
what we thought the document said. And so, because it was the FONSI, the finding of no significant impact, FONSI, F-O-N-S-I, right? We kept
Yep.
saying, hey! I think it's going to stick for a little while.
See, for me, Fonzie is just a singer.
A singer.
Because I'm on the Hispanic side of things.
Is there a Spanish singer
Ah.
named Fonzie, really?
Yeah, at least Fonzie.
Really? I did not know that.
Yep.
Huh.
There's
mean,
there's even a racer, I think, from way back then. So yeah.
I mean, I'm on like the opposite spectrum. I'm thinking Ponzi scheme.
Ah,
Oh,
nice.
When I heard Fonzie, I'm just like, wait, is that like a pyramid scheme? I was like, no, it's Ponzi.
Oh, you youngin. Oh.
See, I'm looking at that piece of metal on the side of the tower, right next
Uh-huh.
to the corner.
Okay.
And
Right, like down.
I cannot
down-
recall if that is on Starbase.
Which
that
piece
looks
of metal?
different.
We can zoom in on it.
Oh, the
Hang on.
one at the top half, on the corner that is looking at the camera. There's like a plate.
Down here.
Oh, let me see. Up.
The
It's at
huge
the
plate on
top
the
Oh,
half.
that. Duh. Yes, I see
That
it.
one. There we go.
What is that,
I
you think?
don't recall
Interesting.
that being on the tower at a Starbase, at least.
Maybe that's like blast shielding for some special conduit or some electrical thing on the back.
Ah, it very
Could
well
be.
might be. Yep.
Because
Yeah.
maybe
Because
behind
there
that,
are
like,
conduits behind it. Yep.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
there are conduits behind it. Yep.
One
that may be like
difference
a
for
launching
this.
station or something.
Yeah,
Well,
one
that's
difference for
interesting.
this tower. Oh, okay, Taz.
No. Go ahead, Alex. Go.
Oh, I was about to say that in the case of a Starbase, the tank farm is on the front, like on the side of the chop stop. What was the name?
Stop. I like it.
The chop stop.
I think
Okay,
that's what we're
so
calling it.
it was on the side of the chop stop, and this time around, the tank farm on LC-39A, it's gonna be, at least the lines are gonna be coming from the back. So it's gonna be from that other corner that we're seeing to the left of this view. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. Actually, you can see that the lines are coming up from that part of the tower.
Let me help
So
you.
yeah,
Just because you think, oh, the propellant tank is on that side of the tower, that must be where that propellant line comes in.
yeah.
Contraire.
Shuttle will be like, nope.
Contraire. Yes. Not always true.
Yeah, shuttle was
jeez.
the other way. Had to cross lines. That was crazy.
I wonder if we're gonna get a little eclipsed here with that light.
That is actually the light that is being driven by the truck in front of it.
Ah, yes. Okay, it's moving with it.
Yeah, so just like we had the one in the back shining into us as it approached, we're now on the flip side of that.
Yeah, and that road should keep going in that direction. I don't think that it turns in such a way that it's straight away from you anywhere.
It will eventually, yes, right around the time that SLS enters frame. Yes.
Yeah.
But they
I
have
like
stopped
this.
again, yeah.
Look, we got a super
Oh,
chat
this
from
is-
Grayson Holt, 1999, and Grayson said, Elon can't sneeze without NSF having a camera on it. Love y'all. To
Love
be
it.
fair, Grayson, I completely appreciate what you're saying, but to be fair, we're not following Elon around like when Elon's doing things at Starbase and stuff. Like, we were watching the workers and the cranes and all that sort of stuff, but we definitely give Elon his space. We're not like TMZ or the paparazzi or anything like that. But I get what you're saying there. Like, Elon is definitely allowed to sneeze, and I have no desire to live stream that.
Now,
So,
Starship can't sneeze through a tank vent without us recording
exactly. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ian. Starship can't
it.
sneeze
Absolutely.
without us having a camera on it. So, we appreciate you, Grayson. Thank you so much for the super chat there.
Now with a cowbell vent, it kind of feels like it has like a nose with the nostrils, you know, and everything.
It does.
Oh, that
there was
reminds-
the
And like
vent.
it's like it's sneezing.
That reminds me of the old Crew Dragon design with the nose-looking Super Draco pods. Ugh.
Oh,
anyone remembers
yeah,
that,
original Dragon, yeah.
Back in like 2011, that's a throwback. A lot of you SpaceX youngsters here.
God, we just said the phrase original Dragon and the thing's only been flying for 2 years. That's impressive.
Ugh.
Ah, nice. It's Starbase Live Kennedy. It's not KSC Starbase Live. It's Starbase Live Kennedy. Isn't that
Nope.
like Cops Omaha or whatever? Don't they have like that show where it's like Live Police 911 Omaha or whatever?
I appreciated how confident you were until you got to the last word there.
Just like, Omaha?
Yeah.
No.
Just like, find a city, find a city.
I was like, what's a city where they've had cops before? Like the show
Yeah.
Cops. That's a show. Look, in the United
That was
States,
a
that's
show,
a show. Yeah, like Cops was like a show where they followed police around doing police things.
They should do a drag race of the crawler against an SPMT. The
Oh,
SPMT would win, but
jeez.
that'd be fun.
The SPMTs
crawler-
versus the crawlers? Oh my god, yeah, the SPMTs would win minus a
Yeah.
breakdown. Like,
They do laps around a crawler with a tower segment on top.
With a tower segment on top. Nice. And they would keep it level while they did it.
And we're going pretty fast. We're going fairly quickly now, again.
Okay, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but could one of the NASA crawler transporters, assuming it had the base and all that sort of stuff, carry the entire orbital launch integration tower down the crawlerway?
Yeah.
Like the assembled tower, could it?
Yeah.
I don't know the mass of it is the reason, because I know
it is not more massive than SLS and Rollout. Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
because the SRB is, yeah.
Because of the twin solid rockets. Yep. Yeah.
Ah.
And those boosters are larger than the shuttle ones, so
Yeah.
it's extra mass. And
So
then you
these
have
little-
Orion on top. Oh,
Yep. These little roller skate SPMTs could go faster than the crawler, but the crawler could do this in one trip.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it could take.
Yeah, if you built it here and just put it on a crawler, it could do it in one trip. Yeah.
You could take the tower, the launch mount, and a Starship with it just for fun, just to
Nice.
the pads.
They should be nice to their welders. They should build it in the VAB on top of a crawler transporter and then crawl it out the crawler way.
Oh please,
Except the crawlerway doesn't go all the way to 39A anymore.
Oh, you're right. They built a building in the
Yep.
way.
Oh,
And
just
Oh.
they've
drop
re-
it off.
and they've
Put it on
removed a lot of the
39B. I
gravel
mean, who's
pad.
using that?
They're going to need a
Right,
bigger
like-
crane.
Yeah. Yeah, they've actually started taking the gravel from like where the crawlerway splits to go to B and A.
Oh
They've
yeah.
actually started taking all of the surface gravel from the parts that go out to A to replenish the crawlerway after SLS goes over it.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's funny.
that's smart.
I mean, yeah, that too.
All right, we're getting to the point where the other rocket is about to make its debut in frame.
And real quick, I'm going to show this really quickly. There is the end of the crawlerway going up to 39A, and you can see that SpaceX built their horizontal assembly facility. It says half. I've never heard it called the half. I've heard it called the horizontal integration facility.
Integration, yeah.
Yeah, the HIF, not
Yeah.
the half. But it's right in the it's right in the crawlerway. Like it used to be that the crawlerway went all the way up the mount, and it could deliver shuttle, whatever, shuttle,
The space shuttle.
the space,
And Apollo and Saturn's, yeah.
yeah, all the way up to the mount, and you can't do that anymore because SpaceX put a building in the way. So, anyways, back to the segment.
Which has stopped again. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Of course, it stopped. Plot
Yeah.
twist: it's going to 39B.
That,
Yeah, they take a wrong turn. They're like, oh wait, wrong pad. Beep beep beep. It's also
You
neat
end up
to
next
notice.
to SLS.
yeah, exactly.
They're like, oops.
Whoops, wrong moon rocket. It's funny to notice. You see the bottom cross beams right there. The one is kind of like stacked on the other. I wonder why that is. Maybe that's just to fit it on the base there. That's strange to see. Like on the bottommost part
Yeah.
of the segment, the two cross beams are kind of like the diagonal beams.
Oh, they're not attached yet, yeah.
Yeah, they're just like one's resting on the other, which is strange, but
Yeah, oh, well, because I'm pretty sure, right, like the thing they're actually supposed to connect to is at the pad, like
Yeah.
on the surface that's been built out there.
yeah, it's about 2 miles that way.
Yeah, but I think we saw very similar things. I have to go back and look. I think we saw very similar things, at least with one of the tower segments when they hauled it out for Boca, right? Because like the bottom cross braces there are supposed to attach to the top part of the previous segment, so you obviously can't have them fully attached the way they are. I think we saw some of this a little bit at Boca, if I'm not mistaken.
And speaking of the one at Boca, for anyone tuning in, this segment was built a lot differently than the one at Boca. So the at Boca Chica, they basically built it just as structure, just so it's just a plain truss kind of. But in this case, you have all of the cryogenic lines, the electrical lines, the elevator shaft, the handrails, the floor. All of that was put into place while this was just a segment being built, so that in theory, the stacking process at the pad will be a lot quicker, because they have to deal with, again, Falcon 9, Crew Dragon, Falcon Heavy missions going off. They don't have the pad to themselves. They have to work around the very, very busy Falcon 9 schedule there.
I know they have to basically work around themselves, which is
On themselves, yeah. That's what I was
Yeah,
I
gonna
will
say.
add to that, this tower segment, which is the first one, at a Starbase, it was built directly into the concrete stand. So the first
yes.
the concrete level
Yeah.
at a Starbase, the first level was built right on top of the concrete level. So that's
Yeah.
actually a huge difference already.
They
That's
didn't
very
assemble
true.
it somewhere else and carry it there. They took the pieces and they built it right there on the concrete, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then the other segments followed, right? Like actual built segments then followed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of segments, I saw in the chat earlier, someone was asking how many segments do we expect this to be, or how many? I guess how many was Boca Chica if we're going off that? It was 9, I believe, right? Including the first segment.
See, and I thought 8 counting the first segment.
Just based on the, yeah,
Which one?
nine segments.
9. Okay. 9.
9 segments.
9 segments.
9 segments.
Woo! All right. So basically,
My
this is
audio
gonna
was
become
dropping a little bit.
So basically, this is going to become for 9 Reeks, Chris spends the night at the KSC parking lot.
There you go. Yeah. When you get your little camper or something, you just like live in the KSC press site parking lot.
Right. Well, my car can technically do camping mode, so that'll work.
Nice.
One thing that I wanted to say before, my internet just dropped for a hot minute, and I couldn't say this. Also, an advantage of being able to stage these ones while they are at sort of closer to ground level, let's say, is that it's easier to do that rather than
Yeah.
once imagine, like, for example, going with all the pipes to the 5th level, which is the level of the QD arm. That's super complex, and like you take more time doing that when you can just do it on the ground, or at least closer to the ground, obviously, and then you just put it on top. That's way easier.
Excellent. Hey, while is it moving again or is it stopped? I think it stopped, right?
It looks stopped to me visually. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
As
so
you say,
I brought.
Wait. No, it's moving again.
Of course it is.
Slowly, very slow.
So I zoomed in on actually 39A so we could take a look at where it will potentially go here. I'm wondering, I wonder if it's going to take the turn and continue on the Saturn Causeway, which sort of goes past 39A, and then turn in, or is it going to go past the HIF, right? Because it's supposed to end up over here, and it's got to get there, but there's a building over here.
I do not believe the gate, the physical gate at the HIF, is wide enough, because they have built a new gate into the fencing at 39A for these larger scale deliveries. I would, based on that, and having driven through those gates before, I would assume that they're going to the new gate for Starship delivery stuff.
Go ahead.
We have our satellite guy on chat saying, "Want some more recent imagery?" Yeah, Harry Stranger on chat.
Hi, Harry.
Yeah. Sure, send me some more recent imagery.
We love
I can
him.
certainly use some more.
He's a great. Yeah.
Chris, is that other gate right there by the landing pad that won't be a landing pad? Like, is that the gate you're talking about?
Yes. That
okay.
one.
So if it comes up in it, it would come up the Saturn Causeway, and then it would sort of take a right at the HIF and continue to go around the outside of the fence, and then turn in, and then potentially get staged or something around there before it makes its way over to where it's going to get stacked.
Yep.
The
I mean, looking at the
satellite
maps
guy.
there, if they even wanted to take the road by the HIF, it looks like they'd just be crashing the side of the tower into the HIF.
Yeah.
That would not look like a very wide road.
It definitely isn't. Like, I've driven that way a couple times, and it is definitely not a lot of room there.
Also, I'm wondering, because you said the landing pad that's not a landing pad, from our recent flyover imagery, shameless plug, the landing pad is kind of a staging area for the big parts of the orbital pad. So I'm wondering if they'll kind of park it there for now, or if they'll take it all the way to the orbital pad. We don't really know.
Yeah. All right. Just real quick, we're going to adjust something on the camera. Chris, go. I'm just going to say it out loud.
Thank you.
Go.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Yep.
And then we will BRB. To our live coverage from Starbase Kennedy. I'm going to keep saying it. As
Okay,
the first,
and we're back.
the first segment of the Orbital Launch Integration Tower rolls out to its future home at 39A. There it is
Indeed.
right there. That's a live view being brought to you by Chris Gebhardt, who has rolled out there to share this with everybody so we can see what's going on.
And guess what the big shiny thing on the right-hand side of the screen is?
No idea.
Oh, jeez.
Starship.
Wait,
It's
Is that an
orange
Atlas 5?
rocket good. Yeah, that is.
it looks like it
that-
got a tan or something.
It got a big old tan. We'll walk you through this. But yes, that is SLS in the background on Pad B. SLS is out for its dress rehearsal theoretically Monday, as the last target that I heard for that. And yeah, and here goes the tower segment out to the other 39 launch pad here at the Kennedy Space Center. So yes, the tower that will launch one of the moon rockets with the other moon rocket in the background.
Nice. That's cool, though.
That is, yeah. Well, I mean, cause like, right? I mean, like, it's so interesting when you come around and SLS is out because the VAB blocks it from your entrance, right? When you're driving into the Space Center, the VAB blocks SLS out on the pad. So you sort of get this really cool reveal as you come around the road to get to the press site of just like all of a sudden like bum bum, there it is. But yeah, here goes our tower segment, and it's gonna go right in front of it.
How much
There.
zoom do you have, Chris? Like, how can you...
I can still zoom more.
Maybe just barely fit the tower segment in there so we get, like, as much plus
Of
detail
SLS
as
as
we
well.
can. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame those xenon lights at the pad are so bright compared to those trailer lights we have here.
Yeah.
Does that work, Doss?
That's pretty good. Maybe back it off a
Back it
hair.
off.
Yeah. This is how we
Okay.
do our live stream production, y'all. It's like, well, I don't know. Let's just talk on the open channel. We just do our direction on the open channel. We're not going to take ourselves too seriously.
You get a live behind-the-scenes view.
Chris, up a hair. Like, if you go up a hair.
Yep.
We watched to see the hair. Yes. Wait.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I
Yes.
think that's good.
Okay. Woo.
Now rule of thirds. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No.
Excellent. That's cool.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, you're leaving a robotic camera here, right? So we can see this 8 more times?
I wish.
I think-
it's just the big old physical camera for me today. Yes.
The robotic camera is going to be named Chris Gebhardt, I think. So
Pretty much. Yeah.
Or what if Chris is secretly a robot?
That's Jack.
I did not ship Chris in a Pelican case, so I'm pretty sure he's not one of our camera robots.
Yeah, no, I had to ride in the pressurized segment of the plane when I went to French Guiana. Don't worry.
There you go. You had to ride. You couldn't ride in the cargo section.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
Honestly, if it's
we got a
lithium
question.
batteries, yeah, go ahead.
Let's see, we got a question from Andrew M in chat saying, what are those 4 towers for?
Ah, well.
I guess 3, but go ahead, Chris.
There were 4 when he asked that. I love that. Well, 2 of those were for lightning protection, and then 2 of them are to launch a rocket from. So yes, no, the towers in the back of 39, the towers in the back there at 39B are the lightning protection system towers for the SLS and for Pad B.
And the 4 towers in the foreground, connected by little diagonal
Yes.
braces, are there to hold up other towers. They're actually going to grow and become a taller single launch integration tower.
Yes,
A little
this
bit
is
of a
the
stretch
baby
there, but
tower.
whatever. Yeah.
This is baby Starship Tower. Yes.
From humble beginnings.
Yes.
Do you think they measured this to see if it's leaning?
Oh.
Jeez.
Did they measure to see if it's overweight?
Well, with the SPNT, you could just like lean it one way or the other, right? Because it's not actually installed yet. So
Can technically do that with the crawlers.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they can climb the hill.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I wonder if the tower down in Boca Chica has a lean and a twist in it. Too soon.
Too soon.
No.
But yeah, so what we should see here, right? We should get to see SLS sort of peekabooing behind the tower
Look,
segment, which
look.
is making the turn right
Artemis!
now.
Sorry.
Yes.
I had to dive for it really quickly. I was trying to get a Starship in there with SLS in the background and the tower segment going by. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yes, the Artemis program rockets right there. Yes.
Just yell Artemis.
Yes.
Sorry, Chris,
But,
I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, that's good. The tower is making the turn to actually head out along the crawlerway. So it's actually following the crawlerway now. It's not on the crawlerway, but it's on the road right beside it. And we should be able to see SLS, yes, because it's making the turn, playing peekaboo behind the tower segment here.
It fits right inside the tower segment. Look, nice.
Yeah, look at that. Nice.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
Yeah, Doss, I think if you yell Artemis 3 times in a row, you get a dual camera view that'll pop up in front of you.
Artemis, that like...
Whoa,
Would
it's
you
right
say
there.
Artemis 3 times in RS-25 thanks you? Yes.
Nice, there you go. Very cool. Again, y'all, if you're wondering what's going on, I know we're not the middle of the day. This is sort of a surprise midnight stream that we've put here on SBL, Starbase Live. That is the first segment for the Orbital Launch Integration Tower out at the Cape. On the left-hand side, you can see SLS in the background, the big orange rocket. In the foreground, the SPMTs, big fan of those, carrying that launch tower segment out. And on the right-hand side, that is a view in the high bay, all the way down at Starbase Boca Chica. That's ship 24, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you ever like second guess yourself? Like you're just gonna say it out loud and then the last second you're like, ship 20.
The time. Yeah.
All the time in my daily life.
Nice. Ship 20 in the high bay out there at Boca. So once again, doing our dual view here with multiple components of the Artemis program, all on the same screen. I like it.
Fantastic.
It's so strange seeing this and not seeing it in Boca Chica. Because we've been used to
Right.
for years, whenever there's a fancy SPMT roll, the tower segment roll, it's going down Highway 4 in Texas. But now it's going down a different road in a different state at a different space center.
It would be funny if this was also State Road 4, but no.
Ooh.
Don't actually know where State Road 4 is in Florida.
Hey, got me curious. I'm going to go on Google Maps. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
it's just renamed as it goes through Kennedy. Like it's the
State Road
Parkway.
3 is. Yeah.
Oh, that's
State Road
3.
State Road 3 becomes the Saturn Parkway, and then I think this is the
Ah.
Saturn Causeway leading out to the pads.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure what this road's technical designation is. Yeah.
Gotcha. That's right. It's Kennedy Parkway, but that's State Road 3, and then it magically turns into Courtney Parkway once it leaves the
Yes.
the Space Center. Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
out there past the shuttle landing facility.
Names.
And then I think north of it, it's just known differently too.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about road naming conventions at the Kennedy Space Center, hey, you never know what we're going to talk about on one of our streams.
That's
SLS is
true.
about to make its appearance again on the left side of the tower segment.
Nice.
This
Did
time-
anybody calculate how bright SLS was when it was occluded by the tower segment?
Approximately 4.
I got that.
Oh,
Oh, yes. Love it.
But
Do you think there are like actual astronomers out there that are like, oh my gosh, these guys?
Dr.
I'm
John
sure-
McDowell.
I hope somebody
Dr.
laughed
C.
humorously. Yeah.
Dr. C.
But to be fair, well, since we talked about it, I mean, this is kind of how astronomers do things, right? Like if you're interested, if like SLS was a star, right? And you needed to learn about its composition, well, one way to learn the composition of like what a star is made of or a planet is made of is to monitor the light that filters through that star's atmosphere, and you do that through occultation when something else moves in front of it, so that you can get a better reading on it. And that's partly how they do it in real life, only we just saw it happen with a giant steel structure.
Uh-huh.
I think judging by the light, SLS is made out of a lot of oranges.
A lot of oranges. Apparently, I'm being corrected here. It's Courtenay. It's not Courtney. Courtenay.
Oh, is it?
There's an extra, yeah.
Oh,
Apparently, there's...
I've always said Courtney. Yeah, myself.
You
yeah.
know, the little, like you're driving south out of the Cape, and then you go through the little restaurants and stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
apparently that area is called Courtenay.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Like, you know, you go the KSC VC, then you go past the Blue Origin factory, then you get on Kennedy Parkway, and you're going down south, and you're like going down towards the port to get on A1A. That area you drive through is Courtenay, I guess.
Interesting.
Huh. I didn't know that.
So Air Liquide is in Courtenay. I like that.
There you go.
Sorry, couldn't resist. Couldn't.
How do you
resist.
actually pronounce that, Chris? Because I've said Air Liquide.
It is Air Liquide. That is actually
Cool.
how you say it. Yeah, I really thought
Nice.
that was a joke pronunciation, but it is not. That is actually how you say it. Yeah.
We should call them on a live stream, just like type the phone into the live stream and just call the main number and be like, "Excuse me, how do you pronounce the name of your company?"
Hi, you're speaking
mean,
in front of thousands of people?
I mean, to be fair,
Oh.
I'm basing that off of the fact that every Artemis briefing that we've gotten here in the last few months, when NASA officials have said the name, they have said Air Liquide. So, yeah,
There you go. That's a good way.
yeah.
You have to
And-
say it with a bad French accent. Nice.
Yeah, indeed. So just for sort of situational awareness and where we are now, so the SPMTs with the tower segment, which is on the right-hand side of your screen, SLS is on the left, it has made that sort of final turn, so it is now paralleling the crawlerway, and is just going to now follow the crawlerway all the way out to 39A, so the same road, the same visuals that you see when crews, both NASA and private crews, have gone out to 39A for launches on the Dragon vehicles and Falcon 9. This is the road that it is on now, and that it will be on the rest of its journey to 39A, which is still 5 kilometers away. So it's still got a ways to go here, but that's sort of the lay of the land geographically of where it is now. So very much on the straightaway now to 39A.
And one
See,
neat thing- oh, go ahead, Alex.
yeah, I said earlier, oh, because I got a notification on my Apple Watch that we have the daily out. We have a new daily out.
I don't think I can quite fit it all in the frame at the same time, but
Okay.
there's Brady's tweet about
There
the
you go.
daily video we got out of Starbase Boca Chica today. Some work going on the chopsticks. But if you're
the
interested, I
very
don't-
important chopsticks, yes.
yeah, I don't know how many of y'all watch the daily videos that we do, but if you're interested in going and seeing what was going on at Starbase out in Boca today, the daily video is always a thing. There's a link in chat there. I'm almost positive that's going to get pinned at the top of the screen. And that right there is another way you can keep up with what's going on. Chris, how much longer do you think you're going to be able to see it? Like, is it going to go behind some trees or something, or?
It won't actually. It will basically just keep getting farther away from me and fading.
Okay.
And it'll probably just become a little bit more difficult for the camera to like latch onto it, for focusing. But other than that, no, it's a straightaway to 39A, and I can actually see the base, like the top of the pad structure at 39A. So I'll have it for a little bit longer, definitely in terms of like good quality. Yeah.
Huh. Because I know you've got to get back up home tonight, and
At a certain point.
yeah.
He'll be fine.
Like, we originally thought this was going to be like a 20-minute stream. We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes right
Yeah.
now. So that's a thing.
That's actually longer than it feels, which is good. It doesn't feel like we've been on air for an hour and 40 already.
Well, technically, Starbase Live has been going for 11 months.
No, technically. If
It's
you want to
been
get
live
technical
for 11
on
months,
me,
yeah.
Doss. Yeah.
But we've been running our mouths for about an hour and 40 minutes here.
No one would want to hear us talk for 11 months.
11, yeah. I could stream for a long time, but I don't think that I could provide continuous commentary for 11 months.
Yeah. The
Let's be
11-hour
reasonable.
Starship launch days are hard enough.
Yeah, there you go.
uh,
Oh, are those bleachers or something?
yes.
Like viewing
Yep.
stands, like bleachers you'd sit on?
Yep.
Okay.
Viewing stands for the launches here. Yep.
I was like, what is that going in front? I don't remember that, but those are bleachers. Okay.
And it looks like we've had another stop. Is that?
Yeah, they've been kind of stopping, starting, a bit here,
Gotcha.
and they definitely started going slower once they got here and made the turn. But it's still moving. Yeah.
Cool. And it's going again.
Yep. Yeah.
Very cool. The first segment of possibly 9 of a Starship launch tower for 39A. And this one will
That's gonna
probably have
be-
to have a lightning tower on top, right?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question. We
Because,
definitely know that Starship doesn't have one at Boca. Will be interesting to see what the range requires.
I don't
it will be.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good
Yeah.
question.
Huh.
Yeah, because, yeah, like you said, at Boca Chica, they don't have a lightning rod, which was in their planning document. So maybe they were like, maybe they're still working on it. Maybe they just canceled it because it's
Yeah.
not worth it. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, at Florida,
I
you
mean-
might want it.
Yeah, and there are many ways to do lightning protection, and I'm just gonna, for right now, leave it at that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hopefully your rocket doesn't become lightning protection when it lifts off.
Well, that
Oh,
yeah,
Apollo
that's
12.
yeah.
They'll they'll just put a Starship on the pad and it'll be the lightning protection for the rest of 39A.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder, I mean, I imagine that had to be some sort of calculus that they did, like something they thought through. Like you're installing
yeah.
this new structure over here, how is that going to affect the behavior around the rest of the structures that are already there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to attract more lightning to the area, or does it not work that way? Like, I actually don't know. So, anyways.
Well, stay tuned, shall
Well,
we say.
Yeah, we'll find out one way or another.
nice. It
In any
seems like
case-
it's...
oh.
Go ahead, Alex. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, Ian said this is probably the first of, maybe up to 9 segments, and this is like the first tower. LC-39 is coming up,
Yeah.
in a few years.
Yeah,
So more towers.
with 2. So the Roberts Road is going to be cranking out towers on like an
Yep.
assembly line pretty
Yeah.
much.
I just want to note it got onto this straightaway and it is hauling.
It's hauling the mail. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean it is hauling. That's why I say, like,
East.
in a land speed race, these things will beat the crawler any day. But
That's going like at
they
a
just got to
walking
do more
pace.
trips. Yeah. Oh, I
It
feel
is-
really bad for the poor guy who's trying to get out to pad A or pad B right now.
Quite literally eastbound and down now.
Yes,
Because from the
indeed.
VAB to 39 is sort of to the east.
Indeed.
Like,
But do
get
you
it?
see what I kind of mean? Like how the lighting is changing, DOS, and it's getting a little bit harder to make out portions of it
Yep.
now that it's, yeah.
yeah, but we'll get more atmosphere between us and it, and it's going to be hazy and all that sort of thing.
Oh
So,
my gosh. May we speak about the humidity?
I mean, sure. Would you like to?
Good Lord. Florida is one of the only places in the world where it gets more humid at night. It is just, ugh.
Steve
very
just
humid
corrected me. It's
At least you
sort
don't
of
need a sweater.
eastbound. Nice. It's sort of eastbound and up, since it's sort of like east northeast, I guess. Whatever, Steve.
That road actually goes pretty much due east. It's not exactly due east, but that road actually does go pretty much due east.
Chris, I'm trying to determine whether or not I should show the map.
No.
I was like, wait, should I show the map? Because I had the map ready to show.
Nice.
It's mostly east. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
east. It's east inspired. It's very east. There. So.
Basically, the vehicle assembly. So the way it works, the vehicle assembly building high bays face east and west, and then
Right.
the launch pad orientations are north-south and due north-south, and the VAB is pretty much due east, due west in its orientation, and then this main part of the crawlerway here makes a very, very, very slight turn to the north when it comes out of the VAB, but it is east for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Eastbound and east. We'll just settle on eastbound and east. Nice, Steve.
Yeah.
It's east with just a touch of north.
Yeah.
A hint.
A hint. But yeah, this is the tower segment on its way out, and it's just hauling it now. So.
And Chris,
Yeah.
I assume it would be a pretty long time before we would get a shot of the tower segment with 39A in the background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it probably would. I can zoom out a little bit, but it's
Let's see how close it is. Like, can you what do you have to do to fit the tower
There.
segment and?
that.
Oh,
Oh,
not too bad.
that doesn't look like it's gonna take that long. I don't
Ah,
know. Chris,
yes.
Chris, you're the one out there.
Here you go.
This could still be a couple of hours before it's out there.
You think so?
Well, it took it an hour and a half to come 2 miles from the Roberts Road facility to here.
Right.
Well, actually, a little more than an hour and a half to make it those 2 miles. And if they break down, if they have to stop,
Yeah,
but I mean,
it may
just
be a
based
while.
on the speed, it's going to be a couple of hours before they're out there, most likely. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it will only get smaller and harder to see as it traverses down the crawler.
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of get you a sense of scale. Like it looks big right now, but once it gets all the way out there to the to 39, that's a different ball of wax, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, look how
'Cause I think-
small
I think
39's tower looks.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think the SPMTs with this on it can go roughly 2 miles an hour, and there's still about 2 miles left to go.
Right.
So
It could be another hour till they get to the turn there.
and that's
like
the
where they start.
best, right? And that's like the best possible estimate for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was wondering like the specific angle, and would there be another thing where we could do the whole zoom in and then it goes with 39A in the
Oh,
back?
I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, probably be a little bit of time there. Okay.
It's
I
neat.
don't. Go ahead, Dean.
I was just say it's neat to see 39A how just different it looks lighting wise, because you have all the old yellow sodium vapor lamps, and 39 the fancy new white LED lights. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's strange
yeah.
seeing that on the horizon compared to all the depressing yellow.
Depressing yellow. Nice.
Ooh, it's in yellow.
Do we know about what time it started moving, Chris? I know you had
It started moving around 2100 local time.
Okay, gotcha. Which would be minus 12, 11,
3
9
some odd
o'clock?
hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9 o'clock. Yes.
Okay, about 9 o'clock. Okay.
But the good thing is this is a straightaway, so maybe they'll just haul it.
Send it. Send
Yeah,
it down
send
the
it.
crawler way. Nice.
Full send.
Full send. Yes.
I wonder, is the can I see the transporter erector there, or is that just the rainbirds there? Looks like something's on the pad. Maybe it's just the rainbirds though. Alex
see.
might know that. I don't know.
Let's
He's the
see.
Falcon 9 guy.
Hold on, because I'm not looking
let's
at the
find out.
place I should be looking at. Bad me.
Don't.
Okay, those things sticking should be, yes, the rainbirds.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't see the TE out there.
Yep.
No, the TE should be inside the hangar.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
the TE it
launch
needs to be inside
is
the
Friday.
hangar because it's launching Starlink on Friday. Yes. Duh.
There you go.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yes. Sorry. Which pad is which mission going from? My lord.
Ugh.
Starlink Group 419 with booster B1060-13, but that's for Friday's live stream.
That's for Friday. Spoiler.
Obviously, I mean, I'm not gonna tell the whole thing. You gotta watch the live stream. Ha!
Oh, this might be a very SpaceX week here. We got this going on. We got the launches this weekend. There's road closures all the next few days. Ugh.
Yep.
What a time to be alive.
Yep.
Right.
They're not giving us a break, certainly.
Yeah.
A break? What's that?
That right?
Sleep. I remember back in the days when SpaceX would move so slowly, I could remember what each booster launched on the missions by memory. Nowadays, you've got 13 or like 12 missions per booster. Good luck with that.
Say
You have clearly never been near me, Philip, or Nate having a shuttle conversation. There was someone the other day that was like, well, it was a shuttle mission in like the 90s that did this, and Philip and I at the same time went 77. Like, just like.
Oh. Oh yeah, Philip to me. So I've been with NSF like, since 2015, but like Philip to me has always been the SLS guy. I keep forgetting that he was one of the shuttle guys back in the day.
In
Yeah.
terms of like the original crew that's still here, it's myself, Chris Bergen, Philip, and Mark, our webmaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're all newbies here.
You said sleep. You know what time it is here? It's 6:30 a.m.
Oh,
And it's about to get us. We're about to get a
Yeah,
sunrise here.
But before
Jeez.
everyone goes, oh, Alex, we feel so bad for you. I asked Alex this,
Right?
like a few months ago, and he said, oh, I basically sleep Eastern time U.S., not your actual time zone where you are. So
Oh my god.
Real quick, I was being quiet because I was clicking here, but I did try to calculate the entire distance that it had to go, and it was just under. Clearly not exact. It was just under 7 miles. It actually came up as 6.99 miles, 11.26 kilometers. But I cut corners and stuff like that, so that's not an exact distance. But that's about where it went. So if it's 7 and it's got about 2 miles left, it's already gone about
Mhm.
5 miles from where it started. So
and it's passing the nitrogen facility now,
Ah.
out on the crawlerway. So that's about where it is right now on its way
Okay.
out.
Gotcha.
And then it'll pass by the 39A gantry, is it called?
Yeah, the next place it'll get to after this is the LC-39 gantry, which is at the crawlerway split, which is where the crawlerway splits out to B and out to A. And there's a little jog that it has to do. The road isn't completely straight there. There's a jog around the crawlerway because there's actually a crawler park site located out there that it has to dodge around.
That's that. I'm showing that
That,
on the screen
yes.
as we talk
Yes,
about it.
indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, that's
So
the
yeah,
crawler
like
park
when
site.
so like the crawler transporters right now, the crawler that brought SLS back out to the pad is at the launch pad with it. They basically bring it out, and then once they set SLS down, they move the crawler back down to the bottom of the pad just outside the perimeter gate, and then the crawler stays there until you're ready to do launch operations or fueling operations, and then it moves to its temporary park site out at the crawlerway split, so that if anything were to go wrong during fueling, you have not destroyed a two-of-a-kind vehicle. Because there are only 2 of them. They
Well,
were
at this
built
point-
here. Yeah.
It's like one of a kind, because Crawler Transporter 1 has not been modified for SLS, right?
Very true, very true. There's a bit of a difference in this, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ian, because, yeah, Crawler Transporter 2 can take the entire fully stacked SLS out to the pad and is the only one qualified for that mass, like to haul that mass back and forth. But once SLS launches, either of them can actually pick up the ML and move the ML around if
Yeah.
the ML does not have an SLS sitting on it.
Chris, it looks like you could frame up the 39 and the water tower and stuff. It's hauling the mail up the road there.
It really is. I also need to level the camera
Yeah,
again.
level it just a hair. Yep. Everybody, hold on. We're leveling the camera. We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is normally the part when a camera view disappears and then
Yeah,
returns.
yeah. We don't tell y'all a lot of the times. We switch to this other camera, and then we manage this camera. Like we change a cable or whatever, swap a battery or whatever, and you just never notice that we've done it. But sometimes when we're like switching to this view, and then here's Fleet Cam, all of a sudden, look at the clouds, like somebody's doing something with another camera.
Yeah.
Not to reveal too many secrets, but you know.
But yeah, here it goes. I mean, they haven't stopped yet. It's gonna go by. It's by the nitrogen facility now, heading out there. So like the perspective shift looks like it's there. It's still got like 2 miles to go. Yeah.
Chris, can you see the HIF? Can you see the SpaceX logo on the side of the HIF?
No, not from here.
Okay. It's like behind the trees or something, I guess?
Almost entirely, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, not really cool, but I understand.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I gotta say, I just love the look of 39A now. Like with what SpaceX has done to it with the fixed service structure, the crew access arm, the lighting, and all of that. I just love the look of that pad. It's very futuristic with a nice blend of, you know, classic, because that fixed service structure not only worked during the shuttle period, but those were on the mobile launch platforms to service the Saturn V rockets.
Yes.
So that thing has pretty much 60 years of history on it.
It is indeed.
Oh.
It does indeed. Yep, those tower segments launched Apollo rockets and crews to the moon.
Yep.
Yep.
Very cool. I
And
do
here we
think
go.
here, yeah, I think what we're going to do, Chris, it looks like it's moving pretty quick here. Like once
It
gets
is, yeah.
to the other side of the 39A tower there, maybe that's
Yeah.
a good stopping point for us. Let's get you back home so
Okay.
you can get some rest. We have launches coming up the next couple days. Rollouts may happen as well. We have lots of other stuff going on, so let's get you some rest. But we get it to the other side of the tower there, unless it like
Yeah.
stops right here for an hour or something, you know?
Yeah, let's definitely get it to the other side of the tower. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, folks, we just started to do this. We didn't know how long we'd be able to see it. Was it going to be dark? Was it going to be lit up? We didn't know if we should like start a full commentary stream for it. We definitely wanted to share it with you, so we piped it into Starbase Live, so think of it a little bit of a treat for the people that follow us on Twitter and the hardcore Starbase Live people who tried to go to sleep and accidentally left their speakers on, and then we started talking. Hopefully we didn't scare anybody there, but a little bit of a treat there. More tower segments will be rolling out. Now we have a little bit more information. Maybe on some of those in the future we'll do a commentary stream. But if you caught this tonight, thank y'all so much for joining us and seeing the historic roll of the first orbital launch integration tower segment out to 39A, future home of Starship launches from Cape Canaveral. I almost said Starbase Kennedy, but it's still Cape Canaveral, Kennedy Space Center, etc., etc. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us and watching this. The voices that you were hearing tonight, they're not in your head, they're on your computer. My name is John Galloway. You also heard the voice of Chris Gebhardt. Chris, thank you for making all this happen.
Oh, my pleasure. My absolute pleasure.
Excellent. Ian Atkinson, you were here too. Ian, thanks for being with us.
It was a fun night. Great to see the first of many big steps for Starship at 39A.
Excellent. And Alejandro is here as well. Alex, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. This was like really great live stream. I always enjoy these live streams.
Good fun. Just old school, watching something roll down the road while we talk about it for hours straight. Like old
There
school
you go.
Texas tank watching.
You nail it.
This is Florida segment watching. It's slightly different than Texas tank watching, but you know.
Yeah. The Ospreys also watched it go by. So yeah.
Oh, nice. There's an Osprey nest there by the press site parking lot, y'all.
Yep.
So there you can see the white on top. Is that the arm? Is that the crew arm?
That is the crew arm level.
The crew arm level that's lit up like that. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. Looks like
The
the
You
water
can
tower.
well, you can actually see the crew arm in it,
Yep.
but the big lit up thing is the level
You
on
gotta
the tower, and then the
squint a
arm
bit.
is sort of right off to the side of it.
Right
yeah.
off to the side of it. Okay. So right behind it there, we've got the 39A where the Falcons launch from. But when this gets to the other side here, we'll go ahead and spool down our commentary. Starbase Live is not going anywhere. The stream is going to continue to stay on. Hey, also, Thanks so much. We don't get a lot of super chats on Starbase Live, but we had some come through earlier. Thanks for supporting us whenever we spool up things like this. We really do appreciate y'all making it happen. Also, people that joined the membership program. We had quite a few people join the memberships, and then a couple of memberships gifted this evening as well. It's a new feature on YouTube where you can actually gift the gift of membership to other people that are watching the stream. I mean, y'all know all the usual suspects. You bought a shirt from the merch store or something like that. Maybe you checked
buy
out
a shot from the merch store too. Let us know if
a
that works.
shot.
Yeah.
Shot glasses. It should
Yeah.
say like locks or something on it. I don't know.
Oh
but-
yeah, locks, RP1, methane, LH2. You can assemble your own rocket shots.
A
Yeah.
shot glass set.
Oh,
Nice.
Pauline.
NASA Spaceflight, not responsible for. One of them has to have orange Sophie on it though, like orange spray on foam.
Yes. Yes, the orange one. The hydrogen one needs to
boy.
have needs to be orange. Yes. Okay.
Don't consume the Sophie, please. Anyways, however it is that y'all participate, whether you just show up in chat, whether you super chat, whether you like things on Twitter, whether you're a member on Discord or whatever, just thanks so much for being a part of all this. We love to share it with you, and we hope that you enjoy showing up and you don't just learn things, but you also have a good time. When you get stuck with us for 2 hours watching a huge piece of steel roll down the road, I mean, you know.
Because learning should be fun. I mean, learning
Yes.
should absolutely be fun. So we hope we make it that for you.
We make learning fun. Nice. What do we have coming up next? Was the rollout at Starbase?
Is
It's
tomorrow
tomorrow
evening
still,
now.
right? Tomorrow
yes, tomorrow evening. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
there's
Booster 7 goes out on Thursday. Starlink launches from 39A on Friday, and then Stara 1 goes from Vandenberg on Saturday, and then I am totally blanking on it. It starts with an R?
Global
What's the
Star.
payload? Global Star, not an R, a G.
Yeah.
Wrong. Okay. Well,
Close.
all right.
With
There
an
we
R
go.
in it.
Awesome. Moving on. And then Global Star on Sunday from Pad 40 at the Cape. So just, yeah, all 3 launch pads are going to get exercised in 3 days.
nice.
Perhaps even 4. Who knows?
Perhaps even 4, yes.
Yeah, on a Starbase, you never know.
You never know. That's true.
And I do think we're going to do a dedicated commentary stream for the Booster 7 rollout tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
So be on the lookout for that
Obviously.
in the evening. And then, of course, the launches, we'll be doing streams for the launches as well. So we have lots of streams coming up this weekend. But it has now passed the tower there, and I think that we should let Mr. Gebhardt pack it up and head on back home, get some rest, because we got lots of streams coming up the next couple of days. But for now, the NASA Spaceflight crew is going to go ahead and shut down the commentary here on Starbase Live. Of course, since this is Starbase Live, the stream is not going to end. It's going to continue on, but we will shut down this camera from Starbase Kennedy and leave you with all the cameras at Starbase Boca Chica. I guess that's the end of it. Did I miss anything else, y'all?
I think that's it.
All
Yeah.
right.
And
Good
then
deal.
Next week, the big orange rocket does something. So
Oh,
yeah.
gosh. The big orange rocket does something. So anyways, y'all, lots of live streams. We can do it because y'all keep showing up. For now, we're going to go ahead and shut down the commentary, and we will see you nerds later. Nobody say anything so I can turn off the mics.